As a youngster, Elvis often told his parents that one day he'd make a lot of money, buy them a fine home, and put an end to their financial struggles. The purchase of Graceland in 1957 made good that promise and became an important symbol to him of the dreams he'd achieved. Elvis loved Graceland and enjoyed showing his guests around the mansion and grounds. When Graceland was opened to the public in 1982, it was imagined that Elvis would have been pleased with the opportunity to share Graceland with the world. Elvis Presley's Graceland. Welcome to your private tour. Graceland was built in 1939 by Dr. and Mrs. Thomas Moore. The land, once part of a large farm, had been in Mrs. Moore's family for generations and had long been named Graceland after Mrs. Moore's great-aunt, Grace Toof. Graceland was Elvis's very private corner of his otherwise very public world. His mark on this place is indelible, and all of us, fan and casual visitor alike, can sense his presence here. Elvis was a gracious host who proudly welcomed visiting friends to his home. Now that Graceland is open for public tours, the rooms shown are those Elvis shared with his guests. The upper floor, which contains his private master suite, has never been part of the public tour. The living room is where Elvis met his special guests. You would wait here, probably seated on this elegant 15-foot sofa, for him to make his entrance. Both the sofa and the 10-foot coffee table were custom made for this room. The blue, gold, and white color scheme, the decorations and accents are classic 1950s and 60s style. Elvis redecorated and changed Graceland many times in the 20 years he lived here. He added the wall mirrors in the 1970s, an elegant touch that also made the rooms appear more spacious. The stained glass peacocks were designed and installed for Elvis by a local company in 1974. This photo of Elvis was taken in 1957 when he was 22, around the time he purchased Graceland. The photo of his parents, Vernon and Gladys, was taken not long before. Vernon gave this portrait of himself to Elvis as a Christmas gift in 1976. Nearly everything that you'll see in the house, furnishings, draperies, accessories, are original. Replacements are made only as absolutely necessary. This photo of Elvis and his parents was taken in the living room at Graceland shortly after Elvis was inducted into the United States Army in March of 1958. His long hair and sideburns were shorn and he was issued the standard Army outfit, green fatigues. Private Presley, 2nd Armored Division, Fort Hood, Texas. That same year, Elvis's mother Gladys was admitted to a Memphis hospital with acute hepatitis. Given emergency leave, Elvis rushed home to be with his beloved mother. Gladys Presley died on August 14, 1958. Elvis was devastated. Just a short time later, Elvis sailed for Germany, where he would be stationed for the next 18 months. Although not the usual sort of recruit, Elvis was a regular soldier and took his duty seriously. He neither expected nor received special treatment. In Germany, Elvis met Priscilla, the beautiful and charming daughter of Air Force Captain Joseph Beaulieu. They spent a lot of time together until Elvis was discharged and returned to Memphis and Graceland. Although formal in its appearance, the living room at Graceland was also a place for Elvis and his guests to gather casually, often for impromptu jam sessions. Elvis loved music. It was more than a career for him. It was a big part of his life. These rooms became the musical center of Graceland. When Elvis had the urge to sing, he would come here to the music room and start playing the piano. Anybody who was here, family, friends, band members, would end up singing along with him. They'd spend hours and hours jamming around the piano, singing, joking, and laughing. Elvis would sing all kinds of songs, but almost always ended up singing gospel. The 3 Grammy Awards he received from the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences were for his gospel music. One for the album He Touched Me, and the others for 2 separate recordings of How Great Thou Art. Elvis had 3 different pianos here in the music room. First, for many years, a white baby grand, then a gold leaf grand piano, and finally, this ebony Story and Clark. The mirror in the music room moved to Graceland with the Presley family in 1957. It came off the wall of their previous home in Memphis. The formal dining room at Graceland was the scene for the evening meal, usually served around 9 or 10 o'clock. Gathered around this table would be Elvis's family and friends. Elvis always sat here, at this end of the table. From this spot he could lead the dinner conversation. He regularly served as host to a group of 10 or 12. The inner circle of friends, sometimes called the Memphis Mafia, was made up of old friends and relatives of Elvis who also functioned as his personal staff and entourage. Lots of stories and laughter were shared around this table. The portrait of Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie, and her mother Priscilla was taken in 1970 when Lisa Marie was 2 years old. At the center of the room is an Italian glass chandelier, just like the one in the stairway, only smaller. These, as well as the one in the foyer, were purchased by Elvis for Graceland in 1974. Elvis loved Christmas, and Graceland was the perfect place to celebrate in grand style, just the way Elvis liked it. From just after Thanksgiving through January 8, Elvis's birthday, Graceland was transformed by Christmas decorations. It still is today. Outside, there are hundreds of blue lights along the driveway, the life-size nativity scene, and Elvis's special Christmas greeting to his fans. Inside Graceland, the original red holiday draperies hang in the front rooms, showing off elaborately decorated trees. Christmas 1968 was more special than usual. It was Lisa Marie's first. Her grandfather Vernon dressed as a jovial Santa Claus for the Christmas festivities held here in the dining room. At Christmas time, and all the time, the kitchen was filled with activity. Elvis was a night person, usually getting up for breakfast around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But with so many people always around, coming and going at all hours, Elvis's cooks were kept busy round the clock. The kitchen looks today just as it did after Elvis last remodeled in the mid-70s. These monitors and others in Elvis's bedroom allowed Elvis, his entourage, and staff to see what was going on all over the mansion and grounds. When Elvis bought Graceland in 1957, this was just a plain basement. He soon transformed it into a cozy place for informal entertaining. This is the TV room, and its focal point is the bank of television sets. These were installed after Elvis heard that then President Johnson watched all 3 network news shows at the same time. Above the TVs is a pull-down movie screen. Elvis enjoyed watching his home movies as well as feature films. The built-in jukebox holds 100 records. Musical selections could be heard all over the house through speakers in each room. The bar, along with everything else in this room, was part of a professional redecoration Elvis commissioned for the basement rooms in 1974. The lightning bolt is part of Elvis's personal logo. TCB with a lightning bolt, taking care of business in a flash. This logo was incorporated into jewelry, including his famous TCB ring with 16 carats of diamonds. The TCB logo is also found on the tail of Elvis's airplanes, the Hound Dog II and the Lisa Marie. The Lisa Marie, named after Elvis's daughter. Formerly a 96-passenger commercial jet, it was purchased in 1975 for around $250,000. Elvis then spent about 3 times that much having it completely customized. Elvis often referred to it as his Flying Graceland. Elvis used the Lisa Marie jet from November 1975 to August 1977. The Lisa Marie was prepared to depart from Memphis on August 16th for another concert tour, but Elvis didn't live to make that flight. Elvis's father sold the airplanes in 1978. In 1984, by special arrangement, both airplanes were brought home to Memphis to become part of the Graceland tour. The Lisa Marie made a grand return that Elvis surely would have been proud of. The pool room was another gathering place for Elvis and his buddies. Elvis liked the game. His favorites were 8-ball and rotation. As with all of his interests and hobbies, Elvis was competitive and liked to win. The current look of the pool room is also part of Elvis's redecoration of the basement rooms. It was then that the ceiling and walls were covered with this colorful cotton fabric, about 400 yards of it. It took 3 workmen 10 days to cut, piece, hang, and pleat it. This pool table is one of the oldest pieces of furniture in the house. The tear in the felt is a result of an unsuccessful trick shot on the part of one of the guys. Lisa Marie also liked to play down here with her cousins and friends. The broken corner in the Tiffany-style lamp was caused by a tossed pool ball during one of those spirited play sessions. The last room we'll visit in the mansion proper is the den, now called the Jungle Room. Elvis added the den onto the house in the mid-60s. Many stories are told about the Jungle Room. One story has it that when the waterfall was being built, the designer curtained off this end of the room with Elvis agreeing not to peek until the work was complete. Elvis loved surprises and was really pleased when the waterfall was finally unveiled in a small ceremony. Another story is about when, in the mid-70s, Elvis replaced all the typical family room-style furniture with what you see here today, a decorating fad of the time. Elvis reportedly picked it all out in a 30-minute shopping spree at a local store. The large chair in the corner was too big to move into the room by traditional means, and so it came in through the window. That chair became one of young Lisa Marie's favorite napping spots. The green shag on the floor and ceiling was another 70s decorating fad. It also did a good job absorbing sound. In 1976, Elvis chose to hold some recording sessions at home. In this room, he recorded the album From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, and over half of his last album, Moody Blue.